Alright, what we're going to learn today is how to divide fractions by invert and multiply. Subvert and occupy? No. Invert and multiply. Bert and super guy? No. Invert and multiply. Alert and Spotify? No. Invert and multiply. Oh. Alright, let's look at this fraction division problem. So we've got 2/3 divided by 1/2, and I've written it over here. Let's remember how to do this using the diagram method. The first thing we need is the same denominator. So I look at that 3, and I look at that 2, and I say, I want to turn everything into 6's. So 2/3 multiplied by 2 on the top and the bottom, I get 4/6. 1/2 multiplied by 3 on the top and the bottom, I get 3/6. So here is my picture of 4/6. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I say, all right, so I'm going to put blocks of 3/6 down below. Here's one block of 3/6. Here's another block, but I didn't need to shade all of it in. So I look at it and I say, all right, so how many blocks do I have? I have 1 1/3 blocks, or 4/3. You might remember that when we did this, when we had the same denominator, you could look at the first number on the top and the second number on the top, and then divide them like that. That's the diagram method. So now let's do it with the invert and multiply method. With the invert and multiply method, I got to invert. That's only going to be the second fraction, and I have to multiply. So here goes. What I'm going to have is 2/3 divided by 1/2 is the same thing as 2/3 times 2/1. So you can see there are two pieces to what's going on here. Here's the invert. We talk about this fraction as the multiplicative inverse, or the reciprocal of that fraction. Here are those two words spelled out if you need to remember how they work. And then the multiply is right there in the middle. So this is great. We remember how to multiply fractions. Top times top, 2 times 2 is 4. Bottom times bottom, 3 times 1 is 3. Yay! We've done an invert and multiply. Here's another example. We have a fraction divided by a whole number, written over here. If I'm using the diagram method, I might start with a picture like this that stands for 2/5. And then I'm going to split this into 3 portions. You can see I've got 15 pieces now. And if I take those pieces that were shaded and take 1/3 of them, I get 2 right over there. So that's my answer, 2/15. If we do the invert and multiply method, all right, remember every time that we do the invert, it's the second fraction only. Wait a minute, that's not a fraction. What am I going to do? Well, yay, we got a solution. First off, let's rewrite the division problem, and let's write that 3 as 3 divided by 1. It's the same thing. All right, we are now set. Here's our first fraction. Nothing ever happens to it. There's the multiply. There's the invert. Yay! And now it's just top times top, 2. Bottom times bottom, 15. So here are some important things to remember. Never change the first fraction, the dividend. It never changes when you use this method. Always flip or invert the second fraction. Remember that we're finding a reciprocal or a multiplicative inverse when we do this. If you divide by a whole number, so it doesn't look like a fraction, write it over 1 so it does look like a fraction, and then invert.